The sound's okay? I think must be okay, no?
I think it should.
Okay, the sound now? Okay, yes. Langsung boleh ya? Okay. I think now it's better we in the Anjali position. We first pay respect untuk Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Kalena Dhamma savanam etam manggalam utamam. Listening to the Dhamma in the right time, that's the highest blessing. Okay, our brothers and sisters, good afternoon, everybody. Homage to the Buddha, Namo Buddhaya. It is my great honor to have this very opportunity, and I see that here not only just Indonesian person, but Sri Lanka, right? Because the monk who stay here in Sri Lanka, and you can sit, you can sit just properly. And I myself actually, quite a long time ago, I was in Sri Lanka. I studied in one university, in Kelania University, for my PhD. And at the time I was staying in one temple. I think for Sri Lankan person, we know that temple, Vihara Raja Maha Vihara. The temple in which the abbot is Bhante at the time, but already delayed, already passed away, Bhante Vimalaratana. Bhante Vila Vimalaratana. The temple was very famous around Colombo, especially the Vihara, Vila, and mostly every day people just coming a lot just to give offering and worship to the Bodhi tree there. Because accordingly that the Bodhi tree in Vila was one of the branches taken from Anuraga Buddha. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So therefore, many people came to that temple just to pay respect every day. And especially the full moon day, there will be thousands and thousands of people just came to that temple to pay respect there. And that's why for myself, when we are talking about Sri Lanka, I was very familiar. Perhaps because we believe that there is the past life, perhaps I was in Sri Lanka in the past life, perhaps, because I was very happy actually in Sri Lanka, very happy. Even every holiday, I spend my time staying in the forest. So I went to the place, the name is Nisaranavanaya. There is one forest monastery, and there are one very intelligent and also very nice meditation teacher, the most venerable Bhante Dhamma. He was a teacher of that in that forest as a meditation teacher, and then he was welcoming, very welcoming to us. To those who are really engaging the practice of meditation, he was very welcoming. So this is also my good impressions about Sri Lanka. And I was also staying in the Villa, and I had the Bhante Somaratana, Bhante Somaloga, yeah, that monk. He was also very often meeting the brother of Bhante Vimalaratana in Singapore. So the brother is Bhante Dhamma, and he was actually the abbot of the Bilanmila, but somehow he was mostly staying in Singapore. But his younger brother, Bhante Vimalaratana, not the abbot, but somehow staying in the Singapore, staying in Sri Lanka, and as my teacher in Sri Lanka in the temple. So I was quite familiar about Sri Lanka, and very familiar about the food of Sri Lanka, panipu. I think for Sri Lankan person, people, I think the panipu is very. I don't know whether now you still eat the panipu. You are from Sri Lanka, right? You eat the panipu. I still. Because today in the morning I also got the paripu. I thought some Sri Lankan person coming, but they say that there is no any Sri Lankan person in Dhammadasa. But somehow I got the paripu, so it reminds me about this the food of Sri Lanka. Okay, there's from yesterday actually I mentioned about the most important teachings of the Buddha, and this is I think very important to understand. That's especially for the Buddhists, not only just like Indonesian Buddhists, but all the Buddhists need to understand. And I believe because Sri Lanka has the very long history about Buddhism, for thousands of years, Buddhism is never cut off from Sri Lanka. So I believe that Sri Lankan peoples are very familiar about the Buddha's teaching. But somehow it is also good to understand, again, to remind about the important teachings of the Buddha. So you see that each and every religion must have very important teaching. Muslim, Islam, Christian, Hinduism, they have their own very important teaching that all the followers need to understand. So likewise in Buddhism, it also has its own very important teaching. The most important, the principle of the teaching, the principle of Buddhism. And that principle of Buddhism is none other than the Four Noble Truths. It is about the truth of suffering, the noble truth of suffering, and the noble truth of the cause of suffering, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering, and the noble truth of the path or the way leading to the cessation of suffering. And these Four Noble Truths are very important to understand, especially for us as a Buddhist, need to understand these Four Noble Truths. And the importance of this truth is that because these Four Noble Truths are actually the teaching or the doctrines which leads to the main purpose why we are practicing Buddhism. So what is the main purpose of practicing Buddhism, practicing the teachings of the Buddha? It is for the sake of liberation, for the sake of ultimate peace, for the sake of Nibbana. It is called Nibbana. In most of the other people are using the term Nirvana. But somehow in the Pali term it is Nibbana, for the sake of Nibbana. So understanding and penetrating these Four Noble Truths are the way how to attain liberation, the way how to attain this Nibbana. And all the teaching of the Buddha, so the Buddha was teaching his doctrine, his teaching for 45 years. Various kinds of point of Dhamma, of his teaching, were given by him. But somehow all the teachings of the Buddha are taught by him just to make us understand the Four Noble Truths. So all the teachings of the Buddha are taught by him just to make us understand the Four Noble Truths. So all the teachings of the Buddha should be in line with the Four Noble Truths. So likewise, when we are talking about meditation, because the meditation is one of very important teachings of the Buddha, and it is very practical teachings of the Buddha, that meditation is also being practiced just for the sake of understanding these Four Noble Truths. So the meditation is for the purpose of understanding, the fully understanding of suffering is the first thing. Meditation is also for the purpose of abandoning, eliminating the cause of suffering, that is abandonment of defilements of mind, the taints of mind. the impurities of mind, the mental impurities. And this meditation is also for the purpose of attaining the liberation, the nibbana, the cessation of suffering. And the meditation taught by the Buddha is also in line with the path, the way leading to the cessation of suffering, and that is the Noble Eightfold Path. So, main purpose of Buddhism is to understand these Four Noble Truths. And one of the Four Noble Truths is the cause of suffering, the noble truth of the cause of the origin of suffering. So, practicing the teaching of the Buddha, implementing the teachings of the Buddha in the day-to-day life is actually for the sake of abandoning defilements of mind, abandoning the unwholesome state of mind. It is called kusala dhamma, right? The unwholesome states of mind. So this is what we have to do. So why we are practicing Buddhism? Why we are practicing like morality? We are practicing like giving, morality, meditation. We are developing our concentration, developing our wisdom. All these things are for the sake of eradicating, eliminating, especially the defilements of mind, the mental impurities. So this is also what we need to understand. So what are the mental impurities? So in general, we all I think understand as a Buddhist that in general, the so-called mental impurities are rooted from the three unwholesome states. That is the lobha, and then dosa, and then moha. For Sri Lankan, I think very familiar. Lobha, dosa, and moha. The three unwholesome roots. Lobha is the greed, and the dosa is the hatred. And moha is the delusion, non-understanding. Do not understand what is right, what is wrong. Do not understand what is beneficial, what is harmful. Not understanding this is a blameworthy, this is a praiseworthy. Not understanding all these things are considered to be delusion, considered to be moha. So the moha is also confusion. So the means moha is confusion. Mulhati, from the word of mulhati. It is confusion, being confused. So this is delusion, not understanding what is right, what is wrong. And these three are the roots of all unwholesome states. So all the mental impurities, all the defilements of mind, all the taints of minds are rooted from these three: the greed, hatred, and delusion. In Indonesia, keserakahan, kebencian, dan kebodohan. These are the three unwholesome roots. So any kinds of evil, unwholesome state, any kinds of bad thoughts, negative thoughts are coming from this greed, hatred, and delusion. But these three roots and wholesome states manifested into various kind of states. Can be very gross, can be medium, can be very subtle. So we can classify into three groups of these defilements of mind in terms of intensity, in terms of the grosser, medium, and the subtlest. So what are the grosser or the grossest defilements of mind? In Pali, especially in the commentarial literature, it is called Vitikama. So the Vitikama is the very grossest or the very gross defilements of mind, which already manifested into verbal and bodily action, like killing, and then stealing, doing sexual misconduct, telling lie, slandering, talking harsh word, talking what is unbeneficial, what is harmful to others. So all these are actually rooted from the defilements of mind because they are very gross, they are uncontrolled. So they manifest into action, especially the bodily and verbal action. You see, why the person can kill others? Why? Because of the mind, the impurity of mind. A person kills others because of the hatred, because uncontrolled hatred, uncontrolled greediness. So the person is able to kill others by body, so bodily action. So this is a very gross defilements of mind, and then manifest into action, the bodily action. So likewise, why a person could take what is not given, could steal the belonging of others, because of this is uncontrolled defilements of mind, because of very gross, and then manifest into stealing. So that's why this viti karma is a very gross defilements of mind manifested into bodily and verbal action. So likewise, why the person, people can do sexual misconduct, or they having the wife, the husband, but somehow still do sexual misconduct. That's also because of this uncontrolled defilements of mind, very gross defilements of mind. So that makes a person doing a bad action through the body and the verbal or of the speech. And why the people, some people are just talking nonsense thing, just talking unnecessary thing, something which are harmful, slandering, telling lies, and so on. That is also because of this mental impurity, uncontrolled mental impurity, uncontrolled defilements of mind or the things of mind. And because of this very gross, so this is the grossest one. And these grossest defilements of mind can be, can be eliminated or can be prohibited from arising by means of morality, practicing the morality. That's why in Buddhism, you as a lay person, you have to practice at least the 5 precepts. You see the 5 precepts, that's not killing other creatures, and then not taking what is not given, not doing sexual misconduct, not telling lies, not drinking liquors or something which make our consciousness is a weakening. So these 5 precepts at least should be practiced as a Buddhist, as upasaka upasika, as a lay person. And that is actually for the sake of eliminating the grossest defilements of mind, the things of mind. That is the way. Practicing morality, practicing the ethical thing in order to destroy the very gross defilements of mind, vitikama. So this is also need to be understood that why there's a so-called morality is very important in Buddhism, and this should be practiced because some people sometimes thought, even Buddhist people sometimes thought that they think that now the most important we are practicing meditation. We don't need the morality because the meditation is higher than morality, and that cannot be done. That cannot do that. We cannot do like that because this morality is a part of mental development that cannot be separated. And in fact, in order to have the higher understanding, higher concentration, one should keep morality well. One should guard his verbal and bodily action through practicing the precepts. So that's why the Buddha said the so-called morality, the concentration, the wisdom, and the liberation, nibbana, the 4 things cannot be separated. One can attain the liberation, the true liberation, the vimutti, the nibbana, only after having or developing the wisdom, the panya, the wisdom. But that wisdom can be developed only by means of samadhi, the concentration. And that concentration can be developed only by means of this ethical, the morality. So this moral life brings about the concentration brings about the wisdom, and the wisdom leads for the rising of vimutti, the liberation. So the nibbana cannot be attained without practicing or keeping the morality well. So this morality is very important. The sila is very important, and that at least can hinder the developments of mind, which is very gross, to arise, at least like that. And the second one, the developments of mind, which is medium, is the developments of mind which has not manifest into bodily and verbal action, but somehow very strong, appear very clear within the mind, not subtle, but appear very strong, very easy to be seen in the mind, but not yet manifesting in bodily or verbal action. And that is normally in commentary literature, it is called nivarana. Nivarana. Nivarana means hindrance, the hindrance of mind. And that hindrance of mind, which normally consisting of 5 kinds of hindrances, should be eliminated by means of meditation. And these 5 hindrances, the first one is the desire to engage in the sensual pleasure. So the craving, attachment, desire, the wishing to enjoy the sensual pleasures, it is in the meditation, in the mental cultivation, in the development of mind, that is also the hindrance of mind. That is also the defilements of mind. Even though in the society, the so-called enjoy the sensual pleasures are something common, something insignificant, but somehow in this practice of meditation, mental development, this craving, this attachment, this wishing to enjoy the sensual pleasure, that is also defilements of mind. And it appears very clear in the mind, but somehow before it takes into action, bodily action or verbal action, that is the medium one. And that is the hindrance. The first, we have to recognize. And the second one is that Vyapada. The first, it is called Kamachanda, desire for sensual pleasure. And the second one is Vyapada, that is hatred. The hatred, disliking the opposing mind, especially when having kind of external, unpleasant external objects, like seeing the object, unpleasant object, seeing the form, unpleasant form, there arises the hatred. There arises the disliking. That is also defilements of mind. Or listening to the unpleasant sound, and then there arising the hatred, the opposing mind, the disliking. This is also defilements of mind. So likewise, when we are smelling something, unpleasant smell, we are tasting unpleasant taste, we are getting the touch, unpleasant touch, and then there arises displeasure, there arises kind of disliking or hatred, that is also should be regarded, should be considered as defilements of mind. And in this meditation, we also have to recognize and we have to make an effort to destroy, to eliminate the second. And the third one is that normally when we are practicing meditation and that arises, it is called Tinamida, sloth and torpor. The laziness of mind. Well, we are meditating and then what happens is sleepy all the time. And that's also defilements of mind. That is a tense of mind. That is a medium one. It arises, but somehow not really dangerous, but for the cultivations of mind, that is also the dangerous that we have to recognize. We have to understand that. So this is the third one, the sloth and torpor. And the fourth one, as a medium, defilements of mind is, and also considered to be hindrance of mind while meditating, is the uddhacca kukuca. The uddhacca kukuca is the restlessness and the boriness. So when the mind is very wild, when the mind is just, very active, when the mind is always wandering, thinking about the past and the future, that is also defilements of mind. That is a taints of mind. While we are meditating, we also have to recognize it and we have to tame it. We have to eliminate this wandering mind, the monkey mind. And the fifth one is the doubt, especially the doubt about this meditation, the doubt about the teachings of the Buddha, the doubt about the Dhamma, the doubt about the Sangha, the triple gems. When it has a doubt within our mind, that's also to be regarded as defilements of mind. And these should be eliminated while practicing the mental cultivation. And the last one is a very subtle one. And the subtlest one is very difficult to be seen. Unless we are meditating, unless we meditate firmly, and then we see, take a close, take a look very closely within our minds, only then the subtlest defilements of mind can be seen. And this subtlest one is called anusaya, something that's latent, something latent tendency. Perhaps like, for example, when we are sitting and suddenly our body is moving, and aware that actually this movement of our body is caused by these defilements of mind. What is it? Hatred, disliking, dislike toward this unpleasant feeling. But mostly people are unaware of this disliking. There is a movement, little movement, and that's because of this disliking. It can happen. And then again, when we see something very pleasant, we see the form very pleasant, there arises very subtle, pleasant feeling. And without aware at that time, there is very subtle greediness, very subtle attachment, very subtle desire to get it, to maintain it. And that is a very subtle defilement of mind. And all this can be seen and eliminated by means of meditation. Now the question is that how to eliminate all these defilements of mind and rooted from greed, hatred, and delusion. And the discourse, one discourse found in Majjhima Nikaya, that is Vitaka Sandana Sutta, has given ways how to eliminate the defilements of mind. That the Buddha telling to his disciples, there are 5 signs, there are 5 ways. It is called Panchanimithani. So the Buddha says like this: Adi Chitanuyutena Bhikkhave Bhikkhuna Pancha Nimitani Manasi Katabani. So, O monks, there are 5 signs that should be attended kalena kalam, time to time, from time to time, for those monks, for those people who are practicing, who are engaging in the higher mind, adhijita. The so-called higher mind or adhijita is meditation itself. So these sign, nimitta, these 5 ways should be attended from time to time in order to eliminate the defilements of mind, should be attended by those who are engaging in this higher mind, who are engaging in the mental cultivation. There are 5 ways in order to eliminate the defilements of mind. So the first one is that the Buddha said like this: is suppose while engaging in this meditation, there arises the bad thoughts imbued with desire, raga or greediness, or imbued with hatred or dosa, or imbued with delusion or moha. At that time, one should change. Immediately, one should change that kind of bad thoughts with another good thoughts. From aku salacita and then change into kusalacita. From aku saladhamma change into kusaladhamma. For example, while meditating, and then it arises like desire to enjoy the sensual pleasures, and that's also the hindrance. That is the greediness, that is the raga. And when that happens, one who is practicing meditation and then immediately change that kind of thought into another kind of thought, which is skillful, where the desire to, in order to get this sensual pleasure arises, such a person need to change into, for example, in Buddhism, there is one practice of meditation It is called Asubha, Asubha Bhavana, the developments of Asubha. What is Asubha? Asubha is the way how to see this so-called body as ugly. Normally we see the body as beautiful. We see the body as a very clean, very, very clean, very beautiful, very attractive. But somehow we see as it is. We see this body as it is, as actually ugly, as actually a lot of impurities within our body. Can you see that's all the body is actually impure? Is it any something good which is coming from our body? Is there something smell good from our body? Nothing. All the things that come from our body is actually smelly, smelly and actually ugly. And that is actually what we have to see. So when the desire to enjoy the sensual pleasures, we see as it is our body. That our body is actually basically actually impure, a lot of impurities. Our body is basically is ugly because it composed only just the flesh and then blood, anything which is actually even we cannot touch when you eat. And then so you see that when you see the hair of others and oh, your hair is very beautiful, but when you eat and then something hair come inside in the food, can you eat it, right? And you say, oh, your skin's very beautiful, you're very clean, but somehow suppose we are eating and then there is a small skin just falling down in our food. Can you eat it? No, because actually, basically, the so-called body is actually impure. So when this desire to have the sense of presence arises, and in this meditation, we have to change it into another skillful thoughts that is like, for example, asubha. And again, suppose while meditating, and then there arises the hatred, there arises the dosa, hating others or hating someone else or hating the condition or situation. And we also have to change another thought, change this hating thought into another skillful thought. What is another skillful thought? We can just change it into loving kindness, metta bhavana. We have to, somehow try to find out, to see someone who is actually, in our mind is a bad, but somehow we have to see the good things in such a person in order to create the loving kindness, in order to produce the loving kindness, change it into loving kindness from the hatred and then change it into loving kindness. And when that happens, these so-called departments of mind, like desire, hatred, and even delusion, will disappear by means of change it. As soon as it rises, and then we try to change it into another wholesome states of mind, whether it is about the asubha, whether it is changing into metta or loving kindness, or into sympathetic joy, into calmness, and so on. Somehow we change it into the state of mind which is skillful, which is good, beneficial. And the Buddha has given one simile about that. It is as being compared like a person, like a carpenter who try to drive out or knock out uh, the very big rotten peg with another finer peg. You know peg? Just in the ancient time when they are building the house, they're using the peg from the wood. And sometimes when it is quite long, and then that peg is becoming like rotten. And then such a person, skillful carpenter, and then to drive out that peg into with another finer peg. So likewise, when the mind is imbued with the desire, with the greed, hatred, or delusion, with any kinds of evil thought, and such a person change it immediately with wholesome states of mind, with the metta loving kindness, with the asubha, the state of ugliness of our body, with the calmness of mind, with the energy, with the right effort, and so on, we change it into the state of mind which is skillful. This is the first. But somehow, by means of this first way, sometimes these so-called defilements of mind, these so-called hindrances, are not disappearing. Just it keeps coming up. So how we can eliminate that defilements of mind, whether it is a greed, hatred, and delusion, which are coming up. So we have to use another way. The second way, how the second way is given by the Buddha. The Buddha said that we have to see the danger of these bad thoughts, the drawbacks of these bad thoughts, the unbeneficial of these bad thoughts. We have to see it. So when the greed, hatred, delusion, or any kinds of evil states of mind arises, and we have to see this as a danger, as unbeneficial, as something which brings about suffering. We have to see it. We have to see the danger. We have to see that this is harmful. This is unnecessary. This is actually brings about suffering because all of us want to get happiness. And when we see this is at the cause of suffering, so these defilements of mind also can be eliminated, will be disappear. When we are able to see this danger of this defilement, impurities of mind. And this is also we can do. But somehow, by means of this simple contemplation, these defilements of mind is not easy to disappear, not easy to be eliminated. And what we have to do, we have to find out the danger by means of long contemplation. We have to find out, especially some discourses of the Buddha, which talks about the danger of these defilements of mind. So, for example, suppose when meditating, there arises the hatred, but somehow we try to contemplate that this is danger, this is unbeneficial, this brings about suffering, but somehow this hatred keep coming. And then what to do? Or we remember what the Buddha said about this hatred. So the hatred is compared by the Buddha as like a person who is very angry to another person and then try to throw another person with the hot blazing iron, the hot fiery blazing iron. And then he throws it to that person. Or that's like a person angry with others and then throw others with the dirt. Now the question is that which person first get burned? Which person first get dirty? That is the one who is throwing that blazing, the hot blazing iron. The one who is throwing the dirt is actually the first person who get burns. Not other people, but he's the first. So likewise, when we get angry, when we get hating others, actually the one who first gets suffering is not other people, but us. We are the first person who got suffering because of our anger, our hatred, our disliking, our displeasure. We are the first person who get this suffering. And contemplating that we are the person who gets suffered because of our own mind, and that actually, we see the ways of our mind. We see this improper our mind. So this kind of hatred will disappear by contemplating that. So this is also what we have to do. And then another example is found, for example, in commentary literature. I remember there is one monk, and that happened in Sri Lanka. But it was written in commentary literature long time ago, thousands of years ago. And there is the elder was at the time walking meditation under the sun heat. And then the samanya, the novice, came to him and told his teacher, that elder, telling that why Bhante walk meditation under the sun and it's very hot. And then what the elder said, replied to that Samanera, it's better now to get the sun, to get the heat of the sun. Rather, later, if I was born, if I get reborn in the hell, and that is hotter than this sun. So contemplating that now is just little hot, and the defilements of mind, like the hatred and that impatience which arising at the time, and that will disappear because understanding that now what we get is a very small thing. But if we suppose we are reborn in the hell, that is a very suffering. So contemplating the danger of the helly world, of the world of the hell, that is also the way how to get rid of these defilements of mind. Somehow we have to see the danger of these defilements of mind. For example, another example is that suppose our mind is being overcome by the desire, by this kind of greed, and then we have to contemplate within our minds that this greed is a very dangerous for me. This greed is a very, will brings about the suffering for me. And this greed not only just brings about suffering in this present life, but also in the future life. And then we contemplating about our life, which is very short. So now I'm still alive, but my life is very short. Sooner or later, I have to die. I have to continue our life. If I die with this greed, with this desire, with this attachment, with this craving, what will happen in the future? While my attachment is still very strong, and then I have to die. Suddenly I die. And that's very dangerous because when we die with attachment, very strong craving, and that will create a suffering in the future. And that can happen. And we do not know when we will die. It can happen at any time. Recently, I had a very close friend actually, layperson, not as monk, but very close to me. And he was very helpful to build a temple in Indonesia, in my village. Very helpful. And we had a lot of plans about the temple, about what we have to do in the future. But this very good person and having the good understanding about Buddhism. And of course, he also time to time telling about the death that can happen at any time. And actually, he's preparing himself if suppose one day have to face the death. But somehow we never think that the death will come very soon. And the day before he passed away, actually he wants to call me. Actually, we have something that we need to discuss, and he just WhatsApp me, and then he tell me that when I can call you, and then because at the time I was very busy to take care of many students at the time, so I thought okay, in the evening I will call him. But then in the evening I was just coming from my duty for very in the mid of the night, so I thought of myself, okay, tomorrow in the morning I will call him. And in the morning I forget. In the morning I forget to call him. But around 10:37, and then I remember that I have to call him. When I call him, what happens is that the one who accept my call is his son. And his son tell, just now, my father passed away. And that is very sudden. Because actually, there's a person still not really old, just 60 years old, very energetic. But somehow, very sudden, he passed away. And that cannot, we cannot know what will happen to us as well when we will die. Sooner or later, we will die. When remembering that the danger of death that can happen at any time, so when we have the defilements of mind, so we are being motivated, we are being encouraged to eliminate this because this is very dangerous. if I die with these defilements of mind, and that will bring about suffering to me in the future. If we have to be reborn again, and then this will bring suffering. So remembering that the danger of the defilements of mind, that also help us to eliminate the defilements. And that is the second way, found stated in this Pitaka Sandana Sutta. But sometimes with this second way, these defilements of mind keeps coming up. And what happened? What we have to do? And the third way is given by the Buddha. What is the third way, or what is the third sign to eliminate these defilements of mind? Is by paying no attention. So by paying no attention, by paying no mind, by forgetting these defilements of mind, sometimes that's also working. Because after using this, using that, doing this contemplating, but it doesn't work, and then just forget it. Just pay no attention, just pay no mind. And that also can happen, can be used for eliminating this defilement. So the Buddha has given one simile. It is just like a person, when we see something unpleasant, the form unpleasant form, and then he just look away, or he just close his eyes. Just forget what just now he sees. Just forget and just close his eyes or just look away. So likewise, when there is a defilement of mind, we just forget it. We just pay no attention, just pay no mind. And that can work, especially when we have the wild mind. You see that in the meditation sometimes, our mind is very wild. Our mind is just, restless. Our mind just like monkey mind, just thinking about the past and the future and never take rest. And some people seeing that and then just follow the mind. But when we follow that thinking, that thoughts, that will never end. There is no ending of the thoughts. By means of the experience, and then some people just, okay, instead of following this kind of mind, and then just forget it. Because he knows that this will never end. If only just following this kind of mind, this will never end. So just forget it. Just pay no attention. Just pay no mind for that defilements of mind. Just forget and then coming back. Especially when we are meditating, and then we use the objects of meditation, we just come back to our objects of meditation. For example, if we use the breathing out and in as the objects of meditation, and the mind is wandering, and then just forget it. Just pay no attention to that kind of bad, evil, unwholesome state, and then just forget it, and then coming back to this breathing out and in as our objects of meditation. And that also can work. We can do it in the meditation. That is the third one. And the fourth one is that if by means of the third one, by means of paying no attention, paying no mind, but somehow it keeps coming up. And then what we have to do? At the time, we have to take a look closely. We have to see closely. We have to see closely what is actually happening. But while seeing closely that kind of the evil, unwholesome thoughts, we try to calm down. We try to calm down our mind. Just be relaxed. We see closely, but just be relaxed. And that is what it is called as Vitaka Sandhana. Sandhana means like calming down the Vitaka. Vitaka is a mental formation. Vitaka is a reactive mind, the calming down of reactive mind. So the Buddha has given one simile that it is as compared to a person. While that person was like walking very fast, and then he thought of himself, why I'm walking very fast? How if I walk slowly? And then while thinking that, and then he just walked slowly. And then after walking slowly, and then he thought himself, why I walk slowly? How if I just stand still? And then he just stands still. And while he's standing still, and then he thought himself, why I'm standing still? How if I just sit down? And then he sit down. While sitting down, and then he also thought himself, why I sit down? How if I just, laying down? And he does that. Who see closely what is happening with regard to this evil thought, with regard to this, the mental formation, with regard to this reactive mind, and then the mind is slowly coming down, and the defilements of mind, the things of mind is slowly diminishing, is slowly disappear, and ultimately the mind is settled down. The mind is unified. The mind is concentrated. So likewise, by means of the three others, if that works, and the mind becomes settled down, the mind becomes unified, the mind becomes, calmed, becomes stilled, immersed in samadhi, in stillness. But sometimes, by means of the fourth way or the fourth sign, it cannot work. The defilements of mind still comes up, still keeping up, again and again coming. And what we have to do? And the fifth one can be done. The fifth one, according to the Buddha, is by means of, we can cleanse our teeth and then press our roof of the mouth with our tongue, and then we try to crush the mind with the mind. We try to crush the defilements of mind with the mind. Actually, this is about determination. Just like when Bodhisattva, when he was under the Bodhi tree before attaining fully enlightenment, and then he was having the determination. Let my body remains this bone, skin, and tendons. Let my blood and flesh dry up, but I will not get up from this sitting before I attain what should be attained by the human energy, by the human power. He does that. He did that under the Bodhi tree about determination. By determining oneself through this cleansing the teeth, pressing the roof of the mouth with the tongue, and then crush the mind with the determination, and that defilements of mind is also can be disappear. And that is also the way how to make defilements of mind, which is rooted from the desire, from the greed, hatred, and delusion, can be eradicated. And this is the way how to settle down our mind, to unify our mind, to make our mind still. And that is the way how to practice with regard to our mental cultivation, mental development. And that is the meditation. And again, the purpose of this eliminating defilements of mind is just for the sake of attaining, reaching the ultimate peace, attaining this nibbana, the liberation, the ultimate liberation. And that is, of course, in accordance to what the Buddha said, that what he teaches only two things. What he teaches is only about the Four Noble Truths. When he said the two things, that means about the suffering and the cessation of suffering, and that is about the Four Noble Truths. And this Vitaka Sandana Sutta is the way how to eliminate the defilements of mind, is also in line with the Four Noble Truths. That is the way how to destroy the cause of suffering, and the way how to reach the liberation, the peaceful, the ultimate peaceful, that is the Nirvana or Nibbana. I think this is what I want to say in this very afternoon. I hope you can understand and you can read by yourself. Vitaka Sadhana Sutta. And I think that is a very nice, very beautiful discourse that can guide us how to tame our mind, how to cultivate our mind, and how to eliminate the defilements of mind. Thank you very much. Sabisata Bhavantu Skitata. May all beings be happy. Thank you. Any questions? He is our friend. Yeah. Actually, not a Buddhist, but Christian, right? Christian or Catholic? Okay, okay. I think I have you have to enjoy. I thought your father is a Muslim, you know. I just know that your father is a Christian. Christian or Catholic? Catholic, okay. I don't know your father that's Catholic. Okay. Okay, enough. Hmm. Ini semua dari Sri Lanka dari mana? You are from Sri Lanka? Which Sri Lanka? Which district of Sri Lanka you stay? Colombo, okay. Colombo is very large. Once I stay in near to Kelania, the place where Bhante, a very famous monk from Sri Lanka, is the name. Kiribati. For 2 years and a half, I stayed in Kiribati when I studied in Kelania. But some other years, I stay in Pelanila, Vihara. Oh, you stay in Vihara? Okay, yes. Yeah, actually, oh, really? Oh, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I stay in Pelanila, and then of course when I go to Kelania, I have to pass Vihara by bus. You know, we go by bus, the government bus. Gimana? Hmm? Tanya apa? Mau tanya apa? Kita mau belajar. Oh gitu. Oh iya. Oke, oke. Oke, oke. It's okay. You know, actually, in our country, I think it is very unique in our country, different from other countries. But in our country, Indonesia, actually nowadays many people are attracted to practice meditation. Very, you know, actually just recently I told to some Indonesian people just today morning on 27th of January, we conducted meditation retreat. I'm not meditation retreat, just very short meditation, just 3 hours from 6 to 9 p.m. in front of Candi Sujiwan di Klaten, ke Jogja. Ada Candi Budi di sana. We conducted meditation and we opened for 150 participants. And you know, more than 100 came from other religious believers. Kebanyakan dari Islam, yeah, from Muslim, from Hindu, from Catholic. They're practicing meditation. More than 100 people, more than 100 people. Just recently, just on 27th of January. And then, you know, there's on December, I also conducted meditation in Madhut Temple, Magelang. There are 3 days meditation, and there are 49 participants. That 11 participants are Buddhists. 11. The remaining is mostly Catholic. Yeah, mostly Catholic. They're practicing meditation. Jadi sekarang itu banyak orang praktek meditasi. Karena apa? Kita tuh berpikir meditasi itu bukan agama. Meditasi itu adalah way of life. Meditasi adalah pengembangan batin. Siapapun bisa mengembangkan batinnya. Tidak harus berbeda agama. Tidak harus KTP-nya harus misalnya Buddhis, enggak. Asalkan kita itu punya pikiran, punya keinginan untuk mengembangkan batin, kita bisa meditasi. Apapun agamanya, apapun identitas KTP-nya, kita bisa meditasi. Dan Indonesia sekarang banyak orang meditasi. Jadi agama dan kita terima. Dan kebetulan kita juga sering mengadakan meditasi di Jawa Timur, di Vihara Padepokan Dhamma di Warama. Saya tinggal di sana. Ketika ada retreat meditasi sudah pasti ada umat beragama lain. Belum tidak pernah tidak ada, pasti ada. Kadang 5, kadang 6. Mereka datang dari berbagai daerah untuk meditasi. Dan kita sampaikan bahwa meditasi itu adalah universal. Anda tidak perlu mengubah KTP Anda untuk bisa meditasi. Tidak perlu. Universal. It is about the mind, not about the religions, but the mind. As long as we have a willingness to develop our mind, anyone could practice meditation. And that happened in Indonesia nowadays. Many people, regardless their own religion, they all practice meditation. And that is a very unique and I think very good thing. Dan mereka merasa aman, merasa nyaman. Kenapa? Karena kan memang tidak ada istilah konversi. We don't try to convert. You just do what is good for you by keeping your mind well, by guarding your mind well, and that is enough. No need to change your identity card. In Sri Lanka, whether the identity card also has the religion there, Buddhist like that, it has. I'm not sure. I think you already here for a long time, I think. Okay.
Those things cannot happen in Malaysia. Those things cannot happen in
And that's why.
some Malaysian friends.
Yeah, I know. Yes, that's why.
Yeah.
Makanya saya bilang unik Indonesia. Si Malaysia nggak bisa, tidak bisa. Tidak bisa Malaysia.
There's many Indonesian monks that talk in YouTube. Like Bhante Panjawaro, Bhante
Utamo. Yeah.
I like to see the comments on there.
Yeah.
There's so many people from other backgrounds. They give
Different.
Positive.
Yeah.
Means that they enjoy the talks. Yeah.
Yes. I know. A lot of the good comments from not only just Buddhists, from non-Buddhists also. They have the good comments. I think this one is okay. Means already finished. Oh, behind.
Bhante, can I have one question?
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sari.
Yes, Bhante. For some reason my video is not coming up. So for those people who are interested in Buddhism meditation, which is great, do they really have to put on an effort because Buddhism meditation is about liberation. It's about complete liberation, not just a worldly liberation, but it's a complete liberation. So will they be stuck in some way because they have to have a theism, like a god-like image in their meditation? Will they get stuck in there, Bhante? Because when they join the Buddhism meditation, then it is going to be secular.
Yes. Of course, ultimately, the practice of meditation in Buddhism is to liberate ourselves from entire mess of suffering, from entire defilements of mind. And of course, ultimately, in Buddhism, there will be no any external force external force.
Yeah, or external power. Yeah, Bhante, external power. Yes,
Force.
yes.
But somehow in the very beginning for meditation, especially for those who actually coming from different religion, in the very beginning, of course, most important, they just practice meditation. And but later on, somehow, later on, after they really understand the benefits of meditation, understanding about the trueness of the Buddhist teaching, the Buddha's teaching, ultimately they also know. That's okay. But the very beginning, just most important, just do what is good. Later on will be different. Just like the times of the Buddha, many, as I mentioned today morning, many wanderers coming from other religious beliefs, many Brahmins coming from other religious beliefs, they came to the Buddha. And when they came to the Buddha, of course, they also still have their own doctrine, their own, understanding, and also the belief. For example, the belief on the external force. They still have the beliefs. For example, like the Brahmins, they are very strong to believe that there is the external force who creates them. But somehow after they meet the Buddha and then understanding what the Buddha said, and then they have the conviction, they have the faith in the Buddha's teaching, they can change. They can change. So we don't change them by means of force, but after they understand by themselves, by reading, by discussing, by listening, and then by practicing, ultimately they also can change their own belief. But we don't have to force them. And that is also what the Buddha told, especially to in the one discourse called Utumbarika Sutta. So the Buddha went to the group of wanderers, and then the Buddha said that I teach you these things not to make you to become my disciple, not to make you to leave your teacher, not to make you to leave your tradition. I just want to show you that there are some evil, unwholesome things that you should abandon. And there are some wholesome things that you have to develop. That's all. You don't have to leave your teacher. You don't have to leave your tradition. You don't have to become my disciple. But practice this, what is good. But of course, somehow, when they really understand, they practice and really understand, they will change by themselves, not by forcing. That is what happened. I hope you can understand.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bhante. Sounds good.
Yeah.
In meditation, when we meditate in one session, can we change from one object to another, or should we just stick into one object?
It is possible to change from one object to another, but somehow it is better to get only one object. Why I say it is possible? Because sometimes in certain occasion, when we are, for example, we already decide to use this breathing out and in as the objects of meditation, but somehow in the very beginning, it is difficult to keep our mind with this object, and then we can start with another object, like for example, loving kindness, the metta, to calm down our mind, to make our body become relaxed, and then we can use this loving kindness meditation. And after our minds becoming calming down, and then we can use this breathing out. Or in the middle of meditation, for example, we are using this breathing out and in, and then that happened that our desire is very strong, our craving is very strong. And in the middle of meditation, even we can just contemplate asubha, that I just told you, asubha. We can just contemplate about the ugliness of this body, about this disgusting of this body. And by means of this, simple contemplation for some times, and then the desire, the craving, this greediness disappear. When it disappears, and then we come back to this breathing out and in. That is possible. We can do, yes. Because the main thing in this meditation is how to eliminate the defilements of mind. With any ways, whatever ways you can do it. And ultimately, the defilements of mind should be abandoned. Yes. Okay. Okay, anyone?
One more question, one last question, Bhante.
Okay.
This
Yes.
is Sari again. We're still having problem with my video. So is that right, Bhante? The quickest way to learn meditation is to spare time, not just 1 hour or 2 hours, but go to meditation retreat or yoga wachara, maybe once for a week or 3 days or 2 weeks, and you will learn meditation a lot faster rather than do it from home. Rather than do it from home 1 hour a day. Is that right?
How to say? You say the quickest way. Because the meditation is not something that's we have to be very quick, because it is about how to sharpen our mind. It is just like when we sharpening our how to say, senjata,
Weapons.
Huh?
Weapons.
pisau, yeah, weapon.
Knife.
Like knife,
Knife.
we cannot just sharpen our knife very quickly, right?
Yeah.
But we have to balance. We are sharpening our knife, and then we have to again and again sharpening our knife. So likewise, to sharpen our mind, this is not we cannot do it very quick. Just slowly we have to sharpen our mind. The most important is that we have the right way. The right way is very important. The right view is very important. Only when we sharpen our mind through this meditation with the right way, and we do it again and again continuously, not just 1 or 2 times, but continuously, and then the mind is getting momentum, and the mind is developing. And the most important is the right way and then practice. And actually this morning I would like to mention, but no time in the Dhamma Sitya, about the 3 factors that we need to have in the meditation. And the factor is the mindfulness. Mindfulness, we should have the mindfulness all the time. And the second is that we have to have the wisdom. We should have the wisdom, the understanding, the clear comprehension, understanding this is right, this is wrong, this is defilements of mind, this is good mental qualities. We have to understand, we have to recognize. And the third one, we should have the effort, the right effort. These 3 things cannot be separated, because if a person has only mindfulness without any understanding, and then it's not working. Just like when you see the cat, when the cat is trying to catch animals
Yeah.
like lizard, that cat is doing that with super mindful, walking slowly without any sound, and totally focused on that lizard on the wall. He is doing with mindfulness, really mindful. But with that kind of mindfulness, whether that cat is still at the time is doing meditation, no, because he doesn't have any wisdom. He's mindful but no wisdom. He doesn't understand what he's doing is actually the defilements of mind, actually the harmful, not beneficial. So therefore, beside this mindfulness, we also should have this wisdom, understanding. This is right, this is wrong. This is blameworthy, this is a praiseworthy. We have to understand. But having only mindfulness and understanding, that also is not enough. Even though we mindful and then recognizing this is the bad, but without any effort to destroy this the bad thing, the so-called bad things will still develop. We still just continue, right? Even though we understand through mindfulness, we recognize what is now happening, and then through understanding, we recognize this is the good things, but without any good effort, that good thing will not be developing. Even it can be diminishing, not develop. But beside this mindfulness, just to recognizing what is now happening, and also understanding or wisdom to recognize that this is good, this is bad, and then we also should have the effort. What is good, we have to develop, make an effort to develop, and what is bad, we have to eliminate, make an effort to eliminate. And only then, with these three factors, our mind very possible to develop, and that should be should be used time to time, and that is the quickest time, the quickest way to to develop our mind, to cultivate our mind with these three ways. And that has been stated by the Buddha in one discourse, that is Maha Chattari Sakasutta in Majjhima Nikaya, and also some other discourses. Why this morning I actually stated at the very beginning about one statement of the Buddha in the Maha Satipatthana Sutta. Kaye kainupasi viharati athapi sampajano satima vinaya loke abhija domanasam. So one should dwell contemplating the body, athapi. Atapi is a diligent, this is the effort. Sampajano, this is a clear comprehension, this is the wisdom. And satima is mindfulness. So the effort, understanding of wisdom and mindfulness should be together. And only then, vinaya loke abhija domanasa. So the mind's abandoning, liking and disliking towards the world. And that is the state of equanimous. And the state of equanimous can happen only when the three things also there. Atapi, Sampajano, and Satima. And that is actually in the noble effort part, that is a Samadhi, Samavayama, and Samasati. Samadhi is the Sampajana. Samavayama is Atapi, and Samasati is Satima or Sati. That we have to understand. Okay, thank you. I hope you can understand.
Thank you, Bhante. So Sati, Wirya, Panya. Thank you.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
These days, I think in Indonesia, there are lots of classes, meditation classes offered by different schools. Is it better to stick into one, or you can go from one place to another? Because nowadays, we have like from Thailand, from Burma,
Yeah.
flourishing.
I think yes. I think for you as a layperson, you can just go for meditation to any teacher. You have the freedom. You have the freedom to try this food, try another food. It's okay. But somehow we have to again and again come back, because when you are talking about the Buddhist meditation, so the guided meditation should be from the Tipitaka, from the Buddhist scripture. So you have to compare whether this meditation is taken from the Buddhist literature or not. That is also important, because even the Buddha himself teaching meditation in many ways. Teaching is teaching in many ways, right? In many discourses, it is said that aneka pariyayena Dhamma uto bhagavata. So the Dhamma, the teaching, has been expounded by the Buddha in many ways. In many ways. Even the meditation also has been taught in many ways. So we can try from one technique of meditation to another, but somehow you have to come back to the literature, whether it is in line with the Buddhism, in line with the literature, or it is already misleading, already going away from literature, and you have to see that. As long as it is in line, that's okay. You can practice it. Yeah. Okay.
So the source is from Tripitaka.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Nice place here. Very calm, spectrum from Sydney. We can see, the greenery in the city, just building and building. Okay, thank you very much. Again, Sabisata Bhavan Spitata. May all beings be happy. Is it to open? You will just close this one. Okay. Yes.